To meet this man.
Or he's turning his phone back on.
Oh yes, it was him with the cell phone. Ben, hello. There he is.
How's the outside doing?
That's all good.
Alright, so what are we doing for microphones? She's got her own wire.
You're gonna be looking at this one here in a second. You want the wireless? Where did that go?
She's got one in her hand, or I don't know if you have one at once.
Amanda, can we get our wireless back?
Okay, we're doing
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So without further ado, as my note card says, an all-around trashy guy, Mr. Ben Terhune.
Is that good? Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yes.
That's
All
what's
right.
up.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I appreciate it. Yeah, make some noise. I love you too, Lex.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Can't be on stage without a crunchy taco.
That's so nice.
Yeah. For those of you who wonder what that is, during our third day of Gatsby, near the more serious part of the play, almost the climax, from backstage in the wings waiting my entrance, I hear this man in a very theatrical voice say, and I quote, "Have you ever pulled a taco out your pocket and ate it?" And we lost it because that was definitely not in the script. I don't know if you've read Gatsby or not, but there's really not too much taco talk in there. So on behalf of the Civic Theater, we present you a crunchy taco in whole for your supper tonight. So, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Watch that be the only applause break I get all friggin' night. I can see that. All right, cool. Okay. Guys, do me a favor. Raise your hand if you had a dysfunctional childhood. We about to become best fucking friends. All right, cool. Like Christmas during my childhood and my current sex life have a lot in common right now. No one came and I never felt an ounce of love during either one. The groans are more satisfying than the laughs. Like I had the type of childhood where it was considered a rite of passage to see who could pee on an electric fence the longest. And in case you're wondering, I grew up eating nothing but Totino's Mexican-style party pizzas and drinking air conditioner water. I used to get tetanus shots as birthday presents. Let it ruminate. Let it marinate. My mom once chased a meth head with a 2x4 because he threatened me with violence. Now I know, in my heart of hearts, that that's not setting a good parental example. But in her defense, he was illegally squatting on my property and manufacturing meth. And in my defense, I just thought his prices were way too high. What a weird way to find out somebody does drugs, right? Like growing up, my parents were perpetually lit. The word neglect doesn't even begin to cover it. Like my mom once took so much Xanax that as a toddler, I'd wipe her mouth more than she wiped mine. I know. And my dad drank a lot. Like I don't want to say anything bad about my dad. All right, he was an asshole. The person who ever pity laughed, like you understand my plight. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like to this day, my mom's in really bad health, like because of some of the choices she made. Like most days, she takes 17 kind of different pills a day, and most of them are just for good luck. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can relate to that. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll do that when it's weird, but we'll do it. Like, my mom was just recently diagnosed with lung cancer. And much to my disappointment, she also just got over the Rona. That was a thing. And when she was first diagnosed with lung cancer, I was like, Mom, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna live a healthier lifestyle? Are you gonna exercise, eat right, take your medication? Like, you know, get chemotherapy? What normal people do with cancer, you know? And she looked at me and she was like, no, son, I'm gonna smoke 3 packs a day instead of 2. Someone laughed at that. That's very dark of you. Thank you for that. And we had that moment where we locked eyes. And we had that like maternal, like mother-son bonding moment. And I was just kind of like, Mom, why would you do such a thing? And then without missing a beat, she looked me right in the eyes once more and she said, disability check, bitch. Things that actually happen for 100, Alex. Mm-hmm. Like growing up, I was a really lonely kid. Like my only form of entertainment came from playing tag on top of the kitchen stove by myself. Yeah. Tag, you're it. No, tag, you're it. And then when I wanted to liven things up, I turned the burners on. Because the smell of a home-cooked meal was the only thing that ever got my parents' attention. They may forget your birthdays, but they'll forever remember your screams. Too dark? Sorry, my bad. Like the tooth fairy and my father also had a lot in common during my childhood. Both seldom ever made an appearance, but both took great joy in me getting my teeth knocked out. You laughed really loud at that. I feel like we're bonding on a level we shouldn't right now. That's fair. Go on, paper. Be free. Like my dad, he died from cancer as well, alcohol related. And like, honestly, the whole family was really relieved when he first got that cancer diagnosis, because we were like, surely he won't get pulled over for another DUI, because that damn IV pole is not going to fit in his car. Thank you. Thank you for that. Like to this day, my dad is the only person I know who can undergo 7 extensive rounds of chemotherapy and then sneak quietly to the gas station next door to the cancer center and steal a brand new set of beer koozies. He's a very dedicated man. Like growing up, my dad was so drunk that most of the time he didn't even know I was his own son. There I'd be playing in the yard. And he'd be like, "What are you doing playing in my yard, little boy?" I'd be like, "Dad, I'm your son. I live here too." And he'd be like, "I only have one son, and that's not you." And that is the actual story of how I found out I had a half-brother. Seriously, the man has 17 stalking charges. And the weirdest thing is, before he goes out every night, he looks to me and he goes, "Bro, you know what I need?" And I'm thinking, we're gonna bond now. And I'm like, "What do you need, bro?" And he goes, "Another goddamn DUI. He's had like 17 of those as well. Like, I got siblings, man. And we're all messed up, every single one of us. Like, I got a sister who smokes a lot of pot, and she sleeps with a lot of random dudes. My family calls her the pothole. Yeah, you wouldn't hit it if you could avoid it. And I got another sister, man, and like me, she's great with one-liners. You give her one line of a controlled substance and she'll fuck everybody in this room. And before you even ask, because you've been asking this entire time, I do come from the type of family where stumping a cousin on accident is referred to as a loosely based oopsie-doo. And just so you know, like, I don't have a porn star body. I have a coin star body. And I will oopsie-doo every single one of you. I like where that went. That was good. Like, I'm the black sheep of my family. It's because I have a steady job, you know, and I have a diploma. The rest of my family just basically makes drugs in the shed and steals for a living and gets caught. So because of this, I'm not allowed over to the family functions because they don't want my intellectual bullshit messing with the conversation at the dinner table. Yeah, and mostly it's my cousin Bobby Sue who makes these rules. And I think really she's just jealous because the prison GED program didn't have a cheerleading team or a football team. Yeah, but the joke's on Bobby Sue, because she can't do all the tumbling and backflips associated with cheerleading, because she's got a club foot from all the incest in our family. What now, Bobby Sue? Bitch. And I got a cousin, and the whole family calls her Michelle, because she's girthy and tends to fall asleep standing up, kind of like a cow. Like, she doesn't have a diploma, but she has had her license suspended over 7 times. Like, you ever gotten into a car with your cousin, opened the glove box, and then said, "In the event we get pulled over, I'm snitching." Like, bro, I'm not diabetic, and they make my needles. That's a really dark joke. I gotta think about rewriting it. Oh, good Lord. Like, the rest of my family is either like incarcerated or in church. Sir, let me ask you, Big fella here, second row. Like if every member of your family went down to a dark, dingy basement every Sunday and washed each other's feet, would you consider that a Pentecostal thing or a fetish thing? Well, my family, it just so happens to consider it a Pentecostal thing. Yeah, that's a thing. And the worst part is the other half of my family just took a 23andMe DNA test. Have you heard about these on the internet? Yeah, and it came up that a lot of members of my family are 2% Jewish. So now we're also having a temple in another basement. We're franchising like a white trash McDonald's of condemnation and brimstone. Yeah, I just wrote that joke last night, that bitch hit. Like growing up, my only friend in life was a crippled rabbit, and my dad ate him. Crippy was his name, and he was my best friend. I was not a politically correct 7-year-old, don't give me shit. And I was like, look, little rabbit, you need to run away. And he was like, bro, for one, I can't. And number two, I've lived the same life as you, and I want to die just as badly as you do. That's really dark too, Crippy would be so proud. Like one summer, a pig ate my only pair of shoes, and a horse tried to bite my left ear off. Yeah, like most kids, if they go around without shoes for a summer, someone calls them a free spirit. If I go around without shoes for a summer, my uncle has to bribe one of the guys from CPS with drugs made in his shed. Custody. You can groan, it's okay. The groans are more satisfying than the laughs. Like my great uncle Bob is the one who started all this. He was the patriarch of our family. He had an over-the-road trucking business, which meant he had a preference for lot lizards. And he founded the first ever Pentecostal church in Steinsville. Yeah. And like, I miss Uncle Bob so much, and he died tragically one day while watching The Price is Right. He did. And I don't know to this day what hurts more. Losing Uncle Bob, or knowing that he never got to find out how much that goddamn Showcase Showdown was worth. Oh. And see, the weird thing is I invited a cousin to one of my shows and I told that joke, and he's like, that's not how Uncle Bob died. And I was like, well, how did he die? And as it turns out, Uncle Bob died while watching The View. Y'all familiar with this show? Like, my uncle, Bob, and my aunt Dorcas, old-fashioned couple old-fashioned names, were sitting around watching The View, and it's that chick from Roseanne, Whoopi Goldberg, and that one fat bitch no one pays attention to, you know. And so they're sitting there watching The View one day, and then my uncle just kind of grabs his chest and keels over. But before he did, he goes, that's the ugliest woman I've ever seen. So the moral of the story is, Whoopi Goldberg killed my fucking uncle. Still mad about it. Still mad. Let's see here. Oh, we can do some of these. Look, after telling you about my family, like, I kind of think you're surprised that I've lived this long. And that's okay, because you're right. Good for you. And the thing is, I'm starting to get older. And like, you know how I know I'm getting older? Because at one time in my life, I once took a picture while holding a bottle of Smirnoff Ice, because I thought that shit was cool. Yeah. And this was at a time when you had to pay for film to be developed. I paid $7 to see that shit. You already know. Yeah. I'm glad someone understands. Like, I'm old enough that I literally went on dates and regaled my dates with sordid tales from my glory days of playing hacky sack. Yeah, hacky sack. Like, I'm old enough now that I can remember when there were only two kinds of weed. In my day, you either had brown or you had the brick. Okay, and both kinds of like came straight from the bottom of Oscar the Grouch's trash can. Yeah, and back in my day, when you opened up your little baggie of goodness and you pulled out like a plastic zip tie or a piece of gravel from the road, that was the coolest prize you ever got in a trailer park Happy Meal. Yeah, we just found out I do more drugs. That's awesome, we're bonding. Be free. Like, okay, so like basically, I'm old enough that at one time in my life, I've had sex to every song on the Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water album by the band Limp Bizkit. And I did that shit because I thought I was being romantic. Yeah. Like, I'm old enough that at one time in my life, I approached a kid on my school bus to bully him by telling him that he wasn't cool enough to listen to Nickelback. You can clap for that if you want. That's a decent one. Thank you. And I really just want to go ahead and apologize to that kid too and be like, I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm really sorry. I told him I was going to apologize during this. He didn't believe me. Like, I'm old enough that I've actually been catfished on the internet by pictures of the cast members from Dawson's Creek. Bitch, that ain't you. That's Jody Potter. I know. Love you, Katie Holmes. Like, I did this thing a while back, and like, I was trying to hit on this girl who worked at a gas station, you know? Because I got dreams and goals. And she looked at me and she was like, look, dude, I'm busy, but why don't you just go ahead and give me your best line? And I was like, fine. I was like, look, baby, you just want to come over, chill in my camper, and watch the Goonies? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. Can't believe someone screamed yes on that, and I got an applause. That's the first time that's ever happened. You guys have had a bad 18 months, haven't you? Yeah, that's fine. Like, look, I'm not trying to say like I'm a catch, okay? But I do have at all times 3 different flavors of hamburger helper on deck, and I can pay my rent in aluminum cans. Know what I'm talking about? Coinstar body all the way. Callbacks. All right, guys, what I'm going to do right now is give this like a brief intermission so I can calculate any other donations that are coming in, give you guys time to go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette or whatever, and we'll be back in like maybe we'll give 10 minutes, and we'll go ahead and hear about how shitty my dating life is. Sound good? Intermission means you can walk a little bit stuff, it'll be all right.
You're good to go there.
All right, welcome back. We are minutes away from wrapping this day up. Our comedian has announced an impromptu intermission, but in the last, 40 minutes, we have received almost a little over $200, so we're almost halfway to our final goal. We'd like to think that...
30.
I'm sorry?
Just got another 30.
Got another 30, okay, so that's getting us close to halfway. We'd like to thank the Marino family for their donation. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. And is Jeremiah still around? I can't see. What was the other fellow's name, please?
Jeremiah Mickey.
Jeremiah Mickey from Indianapolis. Thank you for that. So we're getting very close. We've had some people give us random cash donations here at the door too. I mean, we are almost there. If we can do $250 more in the next 15 minutes, we have pretty much hit our goal. So if you need that number one more time, even though it's on the bottom of your screen, it's 812-714-8137, or you can reach us at owencountycivictheater@gmail.com. So, any news back there? Are we getting ready to go? Can anybody see anyone out there? Hey, look at that.
Look at that.
There he is. Perfect timing.
Here's one.
I'll turn it back to Mr. Bencher.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, I promise you guys you get to hear about my dating life, and I'm sorry in advance. I really am. Like I want a real woman. Like, I basically just want a bad bitch who's got a couple felonies and a tramp stamp, right? Like, maybe a warrant or 2. That way I know, like, ain't nobody gonna call the cops when we argue. That'd be kind of nice. Like, basically, if you give me a girl with a tramp stamp and a couple felonies, I promise you I will give her a genuine cubic zirconia from the layaway. I want this to mean something. Like, I want a girl who looks like collecting beer cans on the side of the highway to be about as cool as going on an African safari together. Because beer cans equal beer money. And that's the cycle of life. This dude not in agreement. Yeah, look at you. All right. Like, I want a girl who's not afraid to get physical. Like a girl who will grab me by my downstairs, like Helen Keller trying to read chapter 2 of a sandpaper novel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, my last girlfriend, I'll be honest here, was 16 years older than me. And we were together for 3 years. And what I'm about to ask you is, do you have any idea how hard it is not to blow loads on a 49-year-old unibrow one time in 3 years? I feel like you're sympathizing with me right now. That's fair. I've never had anybody agree with that joke in my entire existence as a comedian. Like, I've been single for a while now, which it's different, but it means I can do some really cool shit. Like, I mean, when you're single, you can, you know, sit around the house in your pajamas a lot or go out and be jealous of couples dry humping in public. Like the other night, be free. The other night, I was driving through Ellettsville, and I looked in the basement of a church through the window, and I saw two teenagers dry with the Wranglers. You see what I'm saying? With the Wranglers. And like that moment was a very pure moment. It was the most pure moment I've had in years. It almost made me want to find religion and not stalk random strangers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the other night, I got a confession to make. Like the other night, I got drunk and I rode shotgun in a Toyota Prius. Because like, I'm environmentally conscious, but I'm also a huge piece of shit. I'm cool with that. Okay, yeah, I'll do this one, sure. All right, so when I was younger, like, dating hasn't always been good to me. When I was younger, like, about 14 years or so, my first girlfriend, her name was Sarah, and her parents were, well, heroin addicts. And the thing of the matter is, like, when you lose your virginity to a girl in a trailer park whose parents are heroin addicts, it means you can stay over at her house now. Yeah. And like, see, the thing is, when you live in a shitty trailer park, you want to stay at somebody else's house because they have expensive stuff. Because, you know, heroin's expensive. And the thing is, I remember sitting on Sarah's princess canopy bed one night, and I was thinking to myself, like, I can't wait to wake up here and have breakfast in the morning because y'all got that good cereal, the kind that comes in a box, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then Sarah was like, well, you're going to have to use a spoon or use a fork because all our spoons are fucked up. Yeah. Let it marinate. There you go. Some of you were like, I feel so guilty I shouldn't laugh. And I'm like, that's the point of the joke. Yeah. Oh, man, I love performing in small towns. Like, I like it more than weird clubs on 4th Street where people grab your booty without your consent. Like, I really do love small town comedy. It's great. And like, I love telling jokes at Spencer, Ellettsville, those type of places. Like, I feel like Spencer is the type of place where I could go and someone will try to sell me a gun and then call me gay for not buying it. Like, no, I don't want a Glock, silly. No. And like, Ellettsville's right next door, and Ellettsville is great, right? Because like, you got the IGA there. And the IGA is so cool because you can just go in and like, window shop in the frozen food section with the other tweakers. Yeah. And like, it's really cool when you go to the grocery store and you go to check out and you have to ask like the first 4 or 5 people in front of you if they're there to buy something or if they're just really confused. It's great. Like, I feel like Spencer though is the type of town where you can like start random trash fires and eat Eggo waffles without syrup and nobody's gonna judge you. It's such an open town. Like Spencer is literally the only town where I've gone to a house party and then a girl has flashed me her boobies. And then, yeah. And then she called me gay for not looking. Yeah. And like, it's not that I don't like boobies. I just don't like nipples that look like a stepped on soft shell taco. Yeah. Like, I'm a big guy. Once again, Coinstar body. I love big people, right? But like, if you look like a melted ice cream cone or a stepped-on sandcastle, I'm not about that life. It's not that I don't have standards. It's just that I'm hoping to get some someday. You feel me? Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so basically, we've discovered that I'm into drugs. And the problem with this is I get high a lot. And I think really weird shit. Like, I got kind of baked the other day. And I thought to myself, like, is it impolite for deaf people to sign with their hands full? Because it's impolite for me to talk with my mouth full. look, I'm here to tell you today that the people most offended by that joke obviously can't hear it. Yeah, you can laugh. And see, the thing of the matter is, like, here's what I also did. I ate way too many edibles one night and went to Walmart. And then I overheard the employees talking, the night shift employees, and it turns out they have a deaf night stock employee. This is awesome. So like, I was just kind of like, I wonder what he'd think about this joke. So I typed out the joke in my phone, and then I went up to him, and I was like, you know, here's a proverb from my trailer park. Here, sir, this is a song of my people. And then he read the joke, and he was like, all right. Man, he thought it was basic. He thought it was basic. So like what I'm saying is, if you're offended, just know that joke actually passed inspection. Proud of myself for that. Be free. So the other day, I might have gotten a little too stoned once again, and I was like, I want a frozen pizza. And so as I was pulling that frozen pizza out of the oven, I looked at my hands, and I was like, holy shit. Oven mitts are just socks who abandon their hopes and dreams. I have no idea why that joke works. All right, so I have this fantasy that takes place with me in a bathroom. Now, I know when I say bathroom, it sounds a little messed up, but just go with it. But like, I walk into a bathroom sometime, and I get into the stall to do my business, and then the guy in the stall next to me is making these ch-ch-ch-ch-ch sounds, like he's chopping up the lines of the blood, the booger sugar, you know what I'm saying? And like Wilson from the hit TV show Home Improvement, I lean over the stall, and I'm like, howdy, neighbor. Do you have a tootski for Benji? And like, if he's anything at all, like Tim Allen's character, he looks at me and he goes, you want more power? Oh. And now you know that I'm old and I watch way too many fucking 90s sitcoms. Like, I know you see me up here, right? And you see the bloodshot eyes and the runny nose. And you assume that I'm probably on those hard drugs right now. But the truth is much more sinister. Pollen. Plant sperm. Like basically ragweed and daffodils are having a bukkake on my face. Yeah. And if you don't know what a bukkake is, there's a Chinese restaurant up the street. If you go in and ask for one, they will give you one half off. Look, somebody asthma laughed. That's so nice. Like, I'm the type of guy who will probably eat too much LSD and way too many shrooms and then go into a Best Buy and find the wall of car stereos and set them all to play different same songs at once. And then I might just advertise that we're having a free concert in a store. And then I might get thrown the hell out because that mosh pit got weird. Yeah. Okay. How have you guys coped with the last 18 months? The Rona's been hell, right? Yeah, I feel you. Like, man, I've done a lot of stupid stuff. Like, just because of the Rona, because I was lonely. Like, during the peak of quarantine, I took a shit in the litter box next to my cat. Yeah, like the toilet wasn't broken, I was just really lonely, you know what I'm saying? And I played a lot of, thank you, double laugh. And like, I played a lot of video games during the whole Rona thing as well. Like, I played Call of Duty, and I found out if I pressed a certain combination of buttons on the controller, my character in the game would commit suicide. Yeah. So like basically what you call playing video games, I refer to as a quick dress rehearsal. Yeah. And like over the course of the Rona, I made friends on the internet a lot. And me and 4 people spent an inordinate amount of time watching movies on Netflix, right? Like shout out to Dildo Baggins on Reddit for the password, bro. I could never afford that. And I watched some weird movies on Reddit. Like I watched this one movie where this dude took his mom to prom in a classic car and then made out with her. Yeah. And throughout the rest of the movie, he kept following his dad around, begging his dad to go bang his mom. All I want to know is why is Back to the Future a timeless classic? Yeah. And then I watched this one movie, it was like an interplanetary solar system movie, right? Where the dude's dad basically goes out for a pack of cigarettes and never comes back. And out of an act of rebellion, he tongue kisses his own sister. Yeah, and then he follows around a giant dog that sounds like a broken garbage disposal. I don't understand Star Wars one bit. It's weird. Jesus. let me ask you something, sir. You there in a sec? Yeah, you. Like, you ever seen the Aliens versus Predator movies? You ever seen Predator starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, okay, like, let me ask you, like, why is it when the Predator opens its mouth, the inside of its mouth looks like the inside of a really scary vagina? Okay, all right. Like, sir, let me ask you something. Like, you look like a guy who knows what he's doing. Would you bang the Predator in the mouth? Remove the teeth. Second time in 2.5 years someone said they would. That's really messed up, man. It's really messed up. Like, the ending of that joke goes, you mean to tell me, brother, I'm the only one sexually adventurous enough to go ahead and bang the Predator in the mouth? But clearly, I'm not the only one. That's fine. That's fine. Be gone. Like, okay, Harry Potter, I feel like, is not a good movie as well. Like, it's a story about a boy whose only nemesis is unable to grow a nose. Why all of a sudden does that need 7 books and 12 movies to tell? And like, in the whole movie, it's just these little kids running around, like little 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids speaking in Latin. Expelliarmus. It's Latin. It means to get out. You know what you call 12-year-old kids who speak Latin? Future fucking terrorists. The fear is real. Yeah. Like, go, Aiden. Go stand in front of the gas station and bribe the homeless to buy you vape pens like a normal kid. Be real with your life. All right, I'll be real honest here. We're gonna have a moment. I'm gonna be vulnerable as hell. Like, this is a picture of 14-year-old me. This is why I hate Harry Potter. Yeah. And like, about a year ago or so, I had my 15-year high school reunion, because I'm getting older, as we can see, as we can tell. And like, I posted a picture of 14-year-old me up on a little like Facebook event invite. And you know what happens when you post a picture of like your 14-year-old self on Facebook and you look like a certain boy wizard? Facebook roasts the shit out of you. Like, the thing that threw at me the most was like imaginary book titles that never existed, right? Like Harry Potter and the Steaming Cauldron of Trailer Park Soup. Yeah, Harry Potter and the Mystical Cigarette Circle behind the 7-Eleven. Yeah, coming to bookstores November never. Harry Potter and the Positive Pregnancy Test. And my personal favorite, Harry Potter and the Moonlit Stroll for friggin' copper wire. Oh God, yo, we'll laugh way too hard at that. Now, what I'm also gonna do, because we're about ready to end this here, I think I've kept you guys long enough, is I also want to actually keep some of these around. I had extras printed, and if you want, like, I'll autograph them for you later with a stupid saying or something goofy. Because I feel like in terms of merch, like, I'm not gonna sell t-shirts or nothing, this is for a good cause, but this is like the stupidest picture of me that exists, and I'll be happy to do that. You can clap if you want to, that's fine, it's not a hostage situation. What's that one? Oh, that's my outro. I didn't know I typed one of those. That's what happens when you eat them damn cookies all the time. Okay, like, I'll be honest here, nearly all of my jokes about me and my life are based on real, true stories. Like, this is how I grew up. This is the type of person I am. I have been featured on the front page of your local newspapers as a journalist over 57 times. And I am a 10-time published author. You can buy my books on benterhoon.com, and they're only $1.30. Yeah, like, basically, I'm just going ahead and putting that in context because I always need beer money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and like, I have a YouTube channel called Totally Offensive Comedy. You can find me there. I've had 13 million views in 3 months, and I have no idea how. Yeah, go me. All right, guys, once again, I want to thank every one of you for coming out or whatever. I'll be happy to talk with you and chill with you when I come down off stage. But thank you so much. If you donated, they really appreciate it. It's for a great cause. And once again, thank you all for coming out.
Yeah.